Hi again. My name is Rebel and I'm the Rebel Reseller. And today we're going to be doing the second half of the What Sold video, which will be for last weekend, June 5th through the 7th. Had quite a few sales. Not going to complain. A lot on the other platforms. So I'm thrilled. And it's getting better and better. The more I'm getting listed on Depop, Depop's becoming my second favorite platform right now.
My fear is that once they quit the free shipping,
Yeah,
it's going to fall off.
It's gonna go. Yeah.
But you got to remember, you can make lower offers on there. Before I forget, because I keep forgetting, hit the thumbs up and drop a comment down there if y'all are liking this content.
Let me get to it. Show you what sold. I sold something on all the platforms but Mercari. So I've got, it looks like 5 on Poshmark to share for that weekend. First is this Mary Meyer giraffe plush. It sold for $15. And then these Play School Weeble Wobble figures from Hasbro. You know, anytime I get these, I make lots. I had already sold a lot. I want to say it was during fourth quarter. I don't find these very often anymore. Not these older ones. The newer ones that look like eggs is what I typically find. These were the only 2 that I had like this. Put them in a lot, and they sold pretty quickly on Poshmark for $10. And then this last 3 was a bundle offer. They offered me $30, which I accepted. First was this Kohl's lot of Eric Carle Hungry Caterpillar plush. And then this Yo Toy Lion plush. This had been listed forever. And then this Merry Makers Rocket the Dog plush. That's typically plush that goes with a book. And so the 3 of these lots sold for a total of $30. Then I had 2 Depop sales. First was this Applause dog plush. Again, this sold very quickly. Hadn't been listed but a couple of days, I think. And I took a $15 offer on this droopy-eyed little dog. And then this St. Louis Cardinals Fredbird. Again, this was a very quick sell. I just think I recently showed this in a haul. It was from a bin, so I had very little in it. And it was just this reversible type of plush. Sold for an offer of $8. And then Etsy, I had 3 sales. First thing that sold was this Jasmine My Precious Pets figure lot. I picked these up at an estate sale. I had Google Lensed them, figured out they were these My Precious Pets. I think the first time I went to the estate sale, I picked up some of the animals and stuff, and then when I came back later that day and was doing research, I realized that I had left some of the buildings, that tree, fence lot, and then some of the other animals I hadn't realized were the same brand. So I went back. I probably have, I don't know, let's say $5 in all of this, and it sold on Etsy for $32.95. And then this Disney Goofy Cookie Press sold for $12.95. And then these Hallmark Gargoyle Hunchback of Notre Dame little teeny tiny bean plush sold for $10.95. And then I also had 2 sales on Whatnot. First thing that sold on Whatnot were these Teeny Ties plush lot. I had the 2 Paw Patrol ones listed, and then I found these other 2, and I thought, I'm just going to make a lot. They're all those tiny ties, teeny ties, and they ended up selling on Whatnot very quickly because I've just been cross-listing on there a week or 2 maybe, and they sold for $10. And then I also sold this Tie Beanie Buddy Spout the Elephant from 1997, also for $10. And then on eBay, first thing that sold were these manga book lots. Again, these have been listed probably 3 years. I picked them up at a yard sale. Probably won't pick them up again. I think I would have done better if I'd had like lots from the same book series instead of just kind of a hodgepodge. But they ended up selling $29.66. And then this Living Nature dog plush. I don't find that brand very often. I think I've only found it 2 or 3 times, and they tend to, sell pretty good for me. This one sold for $15. Disney Store Little Mermaid Ariel plush doll sold for $17.95. This is one of my exceptions to the rule because I had this waterfall from the Little People ABC Zoo set listed with some of the animals. I think I had it all listed for like $39.95. The animals were incomplete. And then I got an offer from somebody that said, would you sell me just the waterfall? Typically, I don't. It's just a lot of work to take the listings down, take new pictures. A lot of times they don't make it worth it. But to me, this one was worth it. So I went ahead and made a new listing on this. And then I just actually, in my brain, I knew at the bins, I had found some more of the zoo animals. So I had planned on taking the listing down anyway to put new animals together. So I just went ahead and sold just the waterfall part for $20. Fisher Price, the number was $4.10. Fun Flower Squeaky Toy sold for $13.45. And then, man, this was a nice sale. This buyer bought 6 items and then had sent me offers on a couple of more. I counter offered them. In the meantime, she had already paid for these 6. And so she also ended up buying one of the other items that I had counter offered on. I'm going to include it in this video, but it was actually, she didn't pay till that Monday, but I'm going to include it since it was all together, but it might get repeated next week when I forget I did this already. But she paid for these first 6 items, $61.86 for this little DW finger puppet from Arthur. Disney Parks Lotso Bear. That's going to all become quite popular again as the new movie is either coming out or out already. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle figure. This little brown Lovey I had just listed, which was nice. Mattel Barbie Peekaboo. And then a Care Bears. Just kind of a variety of things. So she paid $61 for all of that. And then the next day, Monday, she ended up buying the Powerpuff Girl lot that I had just redid. I had 2 of them, I think, and then I added another one. But she ended up buying the 3 of these also for $35. So that was a really, really nice sale. And then not a great sale, but again, some more of the Snoopy stuff that I bought in a huge bulk lot. I sold 1 item for double what I paid for the whole lot. So all of this has been pure profit. And, somebody wanted these Newsweek and People magazines about Charles Schultz and Peanuts. So I went ahead and accepted the $7.50 offer. Pokemon Center. I had just found another plush that I planned on putting with these, and they sold. That's a good thing, right? Now I just start a new lot. Actually, it ended up being a really nice plush, which was like $50 or $60. But this lot of 4 sold for $26.95. Baby Gund Spunky Huggy Buddy Dog Lovey sold for $15.25. And last but not least, I just picked these up at an estate sale. It was in a bunch of doll clothes. I dug and dug and dug because I knew this was Terry Lee. When I had bought all those dolls in my research, I remember seeing these like cat eye glasses. So I was hoping I could find more doll clothes, but I didn't. This was the only thing I bought of the doll clothes. I paid $1 for this, and it sold in like 4 days for $33.43. And then Robert had a lot of, quite a few sales, but all of them on eBay. He is very, earnestly getting stuff cross-listed right now to the other platforms. So hopefully we're going to start seeing even more clothing sales.
Ernest is my grandpa's name.
Mm.
And my uncle's name and my cousin's name.
Okay. First thing that sold was this Tommy Hilfiger women's maxi dress. Took an offer of $15. This was a nice, very quick sell. The brand was Roar men's butterfly shirt. I should have flipped it around because the back was amazing. Look at that. It was just in really nice condition, a large, extra large size. And they sold, again, like in 4 days for $35.71. Do you remember where we got that from?
A yard sale.
It was. And just like last weekend or something.
Yeah, it
very
sold
quick.
Very, very quick. I think it was in Kingsport.
Oh.
And there was a bunch of stuff there, on a bunch of clothes on a rack. And the other stuff I wanted was either too much money or had too much damage and wear on it.
And then shorts, Aeropostale women's shorts sold for $10. Talbot's has been an amazing brand for us, and we find it all over the place here. Does that mean if you find a bunch of it and try to sell it, it's going to sell for you? Maybe not. It just is odd how that works. We have a friend who says she can sell the heck out of Gloria Vanderbilt. We can't. Not at all.
She doesn't sell the heck out of it anymore because she refuses to sell women's clothes because y'all return too much stuff.
She used to. Okay, fine. But yeah, Talbot's does very well for us. It seems like almost every video, what sold video, Robert has a pair of Talbots in it. But these were just petite women's straight leg jeans, $17.71. This might be one of the first pair of the equestrian riding clothing that we picked up at a yard sale. Robert paid $20 for a tote of mostly girl sizes riding attire. Some of it was still new with the tags. Some of it was very worn. And then we had also bought at the same yard sale those Ariat boots that we showed in the last video that sold for $120. But these were girl size 12 pants. They were from a Pro series, and they sold $22.21 in about 5 days. Talbot's, again, women's shorts sold for $15. American Eagle women's shorts sold for $11.41. Madewell women's jeans sold for $26.71. And a Duluth Trading women's windbreaker sold for $20. It had been listed a long time.
I have been sending out offers on eBay just as a bulk, like somewhere between 10 and 15%. I just kind of whatever I feel like at the moment. And so I've started looking at the listed date and the item number to know how long it's been around, and those are getting pushed out at a higher rate now, just to try to make that stuff go away.
Pay attention to that date, because if I lower the price, I change that date. So I mean, you might think it's newer, so you got to pay attention to the number.
I look at the number.
Yep. All right, y'all. We're going to make a haul video right after this, so it's time to get to work. Bye.